Next up, we're going to learn about rounding corners. And because these are live shapes, this is going to be really easy to do. We can round all of the corners or individual corners. So we're going to start with our smaller rectangle. So with your selection tool, come down here and select the smaller rectangle, and then we're going to zoom in so we can see all of the anchor points and these little bullseyes that you see here. These are the live corner widgets. So if you can't see them, continue to zoom in. We're going to drag any one of these live corner widgets toward the center and watch how we're getting rounding. When you get to a point that is not yet red, don't go all the way to the red, that's the maximum point. You can back it off a little bit. Let go of your mouse and you have dragged all four corners equally. You can also tweak this using your transform panel. So up here, and we're going to go on the more three dots, and in this window that comes up we see all four of these and they are locked together when we see this lock on. So make sure that the lock is on and then come to any one of them and click the up arrow until it maxes out, which is at, in this case, 0.05. That's as much rounding as this can do. All four change together because we have the lock on in the center. So that's another way of tweaking that. If you wanted to make them smaller or larger, you can use the up and down. Obviously, it jumped pretty fast there. All right. So aside from changing the corner radius values, you can also change the corner type. So if you look to the left of this, we see this is what our top left corner looks like, top right, and lower left and lower right. We're going to change the corner type for both of the bottoms. So we're going to come to this one and we're going to click and we're going to get three options: rounded, inverted round, or chamfer. We're going to switch to chamfer for that one. And we're going to do the same on the other bottom point. So we changed those two to be a different shape. And then you can click away or escape to get away from that window. While we have this shape selected, we're going to change the fill from white. So click on your fill and we're going to come in and just choose a darker brown color. So whichever one you want to use. And either escape on your keyboard or click away, and then we're going to remove the stroke. So we could do it here and click the no stroke swatch, or we could come down to 0, which is the same as no stroke. So you can do that either way. And then we're going to click away to deselect this shape. We can also round individual corners. So let's fit our artboard in the window, Command 0. And let's select this bigger shape and then zoom in on that a little bit with Command+. We're going to switch to our direct selection tool. So letter A, or the second tool here, and remember that picks specific anchor points, not whole shapes. So with this, we're going to double click the lower left live corner widget. So this live corner widget, we're going to double click. Notice it highlighted in blue and a window popped up, and it's going to ask us what we want here, and we're just going to click up until we hit the max. Whenever it stops right there at 0.75, we've hit the maximum. And notice that only this corner changed. That's what we wanted to happen because we were targeting just this one live corner. We do have some options here, just so you know what this is, the rounding. We have relative and absolute. Absolute means that the rounded corner is exactly the radius value, and relative makes the radius value based on the angle of the corner point. So sounds like a lot of math, but there are two options there. When we are done with that, we can say OK, and then we're going to click the lower right widget to select that, and we're going to do that one by dragging. And again, we drag until we hit a red stopping point. That's the maximum value, and that matches our other side as well. We're then going to switch to our selection tool, top tool, and we're going to move this entire object down until it is resting on top of this other piece and perfectly centered. So we can see that it's touching it when that magenta line comes up, but we need to move it a little bit left to right to try to hit that center point. There it is. So see if you can get it centered and sitting on that piece. And when you accomplish that, we're going to click away to deselect, and we're going to save at this page if you'd like to, if you're saving incrementally, or simply just save. So this is page 92. And while we're here on this page, save and OK, I just want to show you at the bottom of this page in your textbook, there's talking about using the grid to help you with alignment. So to show or hide the grid, if you wish to see it, you need to come up to the View menu, and we can do Show Grid or Hide Grid. And we have it down here, Show the Grid. So if that's on, we kind of have graph paper showing, and perhaps you want to use that to help. Notice that things are not perfectly lined up, but that's fine also. To unshow that, you do View and then you Hide Grid. Another option, there's a pixel preview that you can do, and that would be where it actually snaps to pixels. And another option in the View menu is that you can choose View, Snap to the Grid, Snap to the Pixel, Snap to a Point. If we were to choose Show the Grid and do a View, Snap to Grid, as we move things, they're going to easily snap to the grid line. I'm just going to do an undo. I don't need to do that, and I'm going to turn off Snap to Grid, and I'm going to hide the grid. So there might be times when having that view is helpful to you. So that's how you turn it on.